Today we'll be learning about an SCP that is a child's drawing, and if you look at it too long, it could kill you. Let's figure out what it does and how to avoid it.
Police found Allison. She'd already
God.
starved to death. About 6 feet from a fridge full of fresh food.
You guys saw that drawing.
Stranger still, she
Wait,
was crawling
fresh
out of
food?
the kitchen when she collapsed, succumbing
What?
Yeah,
to the
there's a
toll
drawing
that weeks
on the
without a meal had
fridge.
taken on her body. Why didn't she just grab a bite to eat? Now, her house is an ant's nest of
That is
CSI technicians
weird.
and beat cops. There's no sign of forced entry, but in a small town like this, mysterious deaths are big news, and the town has never seen a death more mysterious than this.
Well, yeah, there was a fridge filled up with food and she starved to death. That doesn't make any sense.
Look at the way she died too. It looks like she's like frozen in place, but her arms are keeping her up.
That is true, Adam.
That's odd. I wonder what she's looking at.
It looks like she's maybe looking towards the door. So maybe something popped up at the door right before she died.
We saw the drawing was on the refrigerator, so it has to do with that. It has to.
It seems like it.
As crime scene photographers, unsure of whether this even counts as a crime scene, take photos of the body and the surrounding rooms, a deputy prattles off Allison's medical history. No sign of mental illness on her record, or
Okay.
treatment
That's what
for
she
eating
used to look
disorders in
like.
particular. No
Dang.
GI disorders, no history of drug use. The detective, standing in the middle of the shifting crowd, just stares
He
down
looks
at Allison's
smart.
body. She's horrifically thin, every bone visible underneath her pulled tight gray skin. There's a fly crawling across her eyeball already.
God.
Nothing about this
Some
seems
bug
to
spray in
add up.
there.
Do you think she was starved somewhere else and then dumped here? The deputy asks. The detective shrugs. Seems like a lot of trouble to go
There's
through.
no forced entry.
If someone did kill her like that, they must have really hated her guts. Their musings are interrupted by someone laughing. Not exactly the most tactful behavior.
They didn't
within
search the
earshot of
house?
corpse. The detective turns and sees that it's one of the beat cops
Oh,
standing next
what
to the
the
fridge
heck?
and looking
That
closer
guy's
at
a
a piece
sicko.
of paper
I was
stuck
looking
on
at
the
the
upper
drawing.
freezer compartment.
Oh.
You could say it's art by some juvenile definition. A water-damaged piece of mixed media, felt tip and ballpoint pen, depicting some mountains, a house, a well, a dog, a smiling sun in the background, and a man dressed like
Does
a
she
chef.
have any kids?
Whoever drew it wouldn't
That's
have
like,
been any older than 10.
It's like Bob
The
Ross's
detective
work.
shakes his head. Show some respect, man. The beat cop tries to stifle his laughter and points at the drawing. Sorry, boss. I was just admiring little Rembrandt's work over here. That gets a laugh out of some of the CSI techs dusting
messed
the
up,
kitchen
bro.
counter. They'd already started feeling
I
like
think the
coming out here
SCP is
was a waste
altering
of time.
their brain chemistry.
Clearly, what they're looking at is just some tragic accident, not something that...
Do you think the SCP is the drawing? Or
Yes.
it's like a kid
Yes.
who made the drawing is the SCP?
No, I think it probably is the drawing itself. Now, I'm thinking that the drawing could maybe summon another creature. Like, I don't think that the drawing maybe did this directly, but I think the drawing is the start of it. And then the chain of events that follow after you do something with this drawing, that's what killed her.
Yeah, but how does the drawing become an SCP? Maybe it's like the crayons that the kid's using are like possessed or something, and then whatever is being drawn with those crayons is it?
It could be. It could also be maybe a creation of Dr. Wondertainment, who has created a lot of SCPs directed towards children, right? Like toys and other things. So maybe he created something like this, or like a magical crayon that the child uses, and then it creates this SCP.
That is a pretty overpowered crayon. I call them crowns, by the way.
I would draw a Ferrari.
requires a thorough investigation. One of them plucks up enough courage to say, maybe the crime we should be investigating here is who stole that piece from the Louvre. More laughter.
These guys
from
are all
everyone.
filled with jokes
Everyone's
today.
a riot
He
here.
takes his job a hell of a lot more seriously than all of his colleagues. After all, starving to death is a horrible way to go. In the following hours, things move fast, but the detective finds that his eyes keep wandering back to the refrigerator drawing. The coroners arrive and
Something
cart
is
away
off about
Allison's
it.
body for an autopsy. Crime scene photographers capture every room in the house. The beat cops and the CSI techs all file out and clock off.
Do you guys think that maybe the refrigerator has something to do with the SCP as well? Since the refrigerator was filled with food, which is so strange that she starved to death. So maybe the refrigerator is part of it as well.
Or It's the fact that the drawing was on the fridge, and maybe every time she saw the drawing, she was like scared. So she never got close enough to the fridge to open it.
So do you think it was a normal refrigerator before? And do you think it also is still a normal refrigerator?
I think it is, and I think it's just the drawing that's like the problem here.
I don't know. I think something with the refrigerator is a little off.
I want to hear what the detective has to say.
I wonder if he also works for the SCP Foundation, because it seems like he knows something that the other cops might not.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to learn more.
It isn't long before all that's left is the detective and the deputy.
Okay, the cool people.
You want my read, boss? The deputy says, zipping up his coat. She just snapped. Life's stressful, you know? Can make people do crazy things. She must have just, you know, decided to stop eating. Let nature take its
Ozempic.
course. The detective is percolating on a strange idea himself. Does she have any kids? The deputy shakes his head. If she did, they would have been home by now.
Right.
Nieces, nephews.
If she has no
Only
kids,
child, according to my research, boss.
it's weird that
The
there's the
detective
drawing there.
narrows his eyes at the fridge. Then who drew that? He asks.
That's a great
And the
question.
deputy doesn't have an answer.
Maybe she's
With
a
gloved
teacher?
hands, he carefully
Oh.
peels the drawing off of the fridge, folds it, and
That's her
slides
favorite
it into an
student's
evidence
drawing?
bag. They've found out all they can for one day, and there's still so many horrible things to discover. Later that night, after hours stuck in traffic, the beat cop arrives home to his one-bedroom apartment.
Something bad's about
He's
to happen to
excited
him.
to get back to his real place when Sandra comes to her senses again and lets him back in. Sure, he slept around a little.
Wait,
sure,
what?
he drank
What's
a
going
little
on
too
with
much
this
sometimes.
beat cop?
Okay.
But what can you expect? The beat's a stressful job. A man needs his releases. He heads inside
the
and
heck?
closes the door
Wait,
behind him.
is this the guy that
chuckling
took
to
down the
himself
drawing?
About that Rembrandt
No,
singer
no.
from earlier.
It's the guy that was making fun of the
Great work,
drawing.
Arnie, he thinks. Funny and
That's all he can think about
Is there
right now.
Anything you can't do? But the glow doesn't stick around for long. He's alone in the apartment.
Aw.
He thinks. It's strange. He's always thought of himself as the courageous type, but every shadowed corner, every open doorway, seems to portend some dark mystery.
Okay, this is starting to
Is there
freak me
someone
out.
in his apartment
Karma.
waiting for him?
Oh my
Beat
god,
cops
what is
are
Gotta
that?
be from the
take
drawing.
chances. He's been known to be a little jumpy on the job. That had gotten him a slap on the wrist before, but it doesn't stop him drawing his service weapon and sweeping from room to room, all three of them, checking for intruders. I'm an armed police officer, he says aloud. If anybody's in here, this is your one chance to give yourself up. I will use lethal force. Nothing. Just empty rooms. Why is he so paranoid tonight? Must be getting sick or something. Could be all that job stress again. He decides to go to bed without dinner. Maybe have a
gosh.
lay-in the next morning.
Is he about to
he's
starve?
The
next.
rumbling of his
Oh
stomach
my
wakes him up
gosh.
in the middle of the night and drags him
Maybe he
out
never
into
wakes
the
up.
kitchen. The beat cop still brings his service weapon with him.
Do you guys think that all of the cops that made fun of the painting, because they made a point that like every single B cop made fun of the painting, do you think like that is what is going to cause harm to them? Like the painting itself is like a sentient painting and it doesn't like it when people make fun of it. So then it will attack the people that are making fun of the painting.
Yeah, I think that you're definitely onto something.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I wonder if they all die the same way or he's gonna like die a different way.
I mean, so far he hasn't been eating, so it seems like he's probably gonna die to starvation. Although he did just get up to go eat donuts. Let's see if he actually does.
He might die the opposite way, you know?
Diabetes.
By eating too much. Yeah, diabetes, you're gonna lose a leg.
in his sleep shirt and boxers. He still can't shake that feeling
Okay.
that something is wrong in his apartment tonight. And in a way, he's right. Just not the way he thinks. He checks the
Wait,
fridge.
is that him
No
in the
groceries, of course. He hasn't settled in that much yet. But he does still have half a hoagie wrapped in aluminum foil.
Oh, that's gonna be
Perfect for
pretty
a
good.
late-night snack.
It's probably
But as he
eat
takes
that
a bite
up.
of the cold, leftover sandwich, he feels a terrible pain shoot through his abdomen, like a blade
just happened?
lancing straight into his back. The
His
beat cop
gut just
lets out a terrible
exploded.
scream as
Bro.
his kitchen's tiled floor leaps up to meet him.
What the?
But the
That's why the girl
detective
was
won't
eating.
find out what happened to the beat cop for a few days. He's still on the case of Allison's mysterious death, and that's what brings him to the coroner's office to see the results of the unfortunate woman's autopsy. Allison's laid out across the slab, a thin sheet, at least letting her maintain some kind of dignity in death. The coroner is closely studying his clipboard. Terrible way to die, starvation, he says. She hadn't eaten in 3 whole weeks.
What?
Used up her glycogen reserves. Then her body started eating into its own muscles. Nausea, vomiting, decreased brain function and immune system.
That's a slow and painful
Feels like a heart
death.
attack is what actually did her in, after all the stress she put her body through.
Oh my
The
gosh.
detective, who'd seen some of the most awful things one person can do
the-
to
Whoa,
another,
whoa,
my God.
still
whoa,
has
whoa,
to suppress
whoa.
a shudder at the
Ted
thought.
doesn't like to watch
How
that.
could a person possibly let themselves die like that? Anything that would indicate she was kidnapped and being held against her will, Doc? The detective asks. Defensive wounds, bruises, ligature marks? The coroner shakes his head. Nope, nothing like that, he says. There was something a little strange, though. Her liver seemed almost like it was missing a piece, like it was surgically extracted.
What?
Same with her gallbladder, but that's not consistent
knows
with her
something.
medical history, and I didn't find any surgical scars on her body either.
Dude,
Now that
what in the
is
X-Files is going on?
The
We're about
detective
to
makes a
find
note
out
of it
something
immediately,
crazy.
Thanks the coroner and starts
This
to leave.
He's gonna
detective's
contact the
good.
SCP.
Once more on the way
He
out.
should be in the
Oh,
SCP
detective,
Foundation.
I think he
forgot.
does work for the
Coroner
SCP.
says. She had some torn paper underneath her nails. Couldn't
paper.
quite make out what it was.
The
though.
drawing.
The particulates were too small. The detective
The drawing,
makes a note
right?
of that too.
Yeah, she was probably
all these pieces
trying
falling onto
to
the
destroy
board.
it?
There was probably more than one drawing, I guess, and she was tearing up a bunch of them, and maybe that one survived. Because that drawing
Or-
wasn't damaged at all.
What if the drawing, like other SCPs, like if you try to mess with them, they could just come back. So what if she like took down the drawing, right? She like ripped it apart or whatever, and then it just would reappear.
Remember you guys were saying that the cop is getting bad karma because he laughed at the drawing?
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe this girl was trying to destroy the drawing, like rip it up like you said, and then that's why she got bad karma.
Yeah, maybe it was like a gift from a student or a nephew or something, and she eventually was just like, all right, it's been on my fridge for 2 months, I'm gonna throw it out now. She went to throw it out, and then boom, bang, liver, kidney, your mom, your dad, ripped in half.
So whatever you do to the drawing maybe happens to you?
No.
No, because the cop just made fun of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just don't disrespect the drawing, and your stomach will be okay.
Adam, you
How
said it
do
looked
any
like
of
Bob
them
Ross.
fit together?
That's a
He doesn't
compliment.
know that yet. Back at the station, things are
Bob
equally
Ross is
chaotic.
good.
A number of people have called in sick with various ailments, so the detective needs to pull double duty fixing up other people's work. But as he's cataloging evidence and filing
Some of them
paperwork,
are busy.
he's still filing all the details away in his head. Nothing indicating that someone else had done this to her. Strange damage to some of her internal organs, paper underneath her fingernails. And still, beyond it all, a woman starved to death next to a fridge full of food, crawling away from it at the very moment of her
Vegetables.
death, rather than going for the sustenance that would have saved her. With so much that's strange and disturbing about this case, why can't he stop thinking about the drawing on the fridge? The one that had no earthly reason to be there. Meanwhile, across town,
That's
a
a
woman
very
is bringing
good
home
drawing.
a car full of groceries. Her hubby,
I liked
a
it.
certain
I like it a
CSI
lot.
tech, had to call in sick today. He had the most terrible.
he was the other guy
abdomen.
laughing.
Must be how hard he works, she figured.
That looks
Stress
like
ulcers,
Taylor
maybe?
Swift.
Is he
That's
going
why
to
she just
be
left
dead?
him home to eat snacks and watch TV, while she ran the household errands. But she has no idea what's waiting for her when she gets back home.
Oh no.
She's walking across the
Did he try to
threshold with
eat
her
more?
arms filled with big brown shopping bags when she hears the groaning coming from the living room. Pained
God.
and
He's on the
guttural,
toilet.
but also oddly hollow, like the noise a wounded animal might make. She heads in to investigate, seeing her CSI husband sprawled across the couch and screams in horror. The grocery bags hit the floor and spill out everywhere.
What's
Oh my
going
God.
on?
Staring
Yeah,
up at the
what's
ceiling,
happening?
groaning through an
His
empty
gu-
mouth.
his kidney is
His
cut.
tongue is gone.
Oh.
His
Disappeared.
tongue?
Whoa!
Just a vacant black tunnel all the way
So it
down.
is different.
The same could be said for his eyes.
Because he was laughing.
replaced
Oh, his
by
eyes
two
are cut
empty
out.
black sockets.
What?
Oh my
Meanwhile, the
god.
detective is following up on a
That
lead.
happened so
He
fast.
arrives at the house of
Jack
Allison's
might be
mother.
right.
Apparently, they were close.
Wait a second, but why did that happen to him when the other woman that starved to death, her eyes were fine? Why did it attack his eyeballs?
He looked at it and he laughed at it. So now you cut the eyes and you cut the tongue.
So that he couldn't talk about it or see it ever again?
Yep, he couldn't laugh about it ever again because his tongue is gone.
The other
And
guy's
he's
stomach
also- I don't
know,
exploded.
maybe.
I don't.
Also, his internal organs are also under attack, but that was only after he ate food.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing theories out.
I'm never making fun of a painting again, even if it's done by Adam. Yeah, I got you, Adam.
I'm gonna start my career back. I quit a couple years back because Alec was making fun of me.
How?
All he had to do was
Please
drop out
don't
his
come
eyes.
back. I don't know if I can do it. Actually, I might take it back.
Close. And from the redness of her eyes, he can tell that she's still grieving for her daughter's terrible death.
Ew.
They sit at the mother's kitchen table over cups of coffee. She explains that none of this makes sense to her. Her daughter had only just moved into the home and she seemed so happy.
She looks
Allison
happy.
had just gotten out of a bad relationship and was excited to be getting her own place with a new sense of independence.
Where did
She'd
she
only
get the
just had the
photo?
new fridge installed. The detective stops her there.
Oh,
Allison had
new
mentioned the fridge
fridge.
specifically. Her mother gives a tearful nod. She found it on Facebook Marketplace, she
What?
said. It had the exact kind of retro vibe she was looking for.
You never buy a fridge from Facebook
Crosley
Marketplace.
Shelvador. They're actually very rare these days.
Okay.
It's all starting to connect. Everything is
Fridge.
fine. Allison is happy. Then she buys a new fridge.
Oh
and
my
she's
gosh.
dead from starvation under mysterious circumstances within 3 weeks. That fridge.
So it-
he knows
it
has
is part of
something
the
to do
fridge.
with this. And if he wants
It's the
any
painting that
answers,
came with the
he has
fridge.
to go back and take a
But
closer
why would
look.
the painting come with the fridge?
The detective arrives back at
'Cause it's from
Allison's
Facebook
home
Marketplace.
as the
That's what
sun
they
is
do
setting
there.
And darkness is creeping in. He walks in alone and makes a beeline for the kitchen where the fridge is waiting. And strangely, he
Oh, the
sees that
painting's
the
back.
drawing-
You were right.
The drawing he saw his deputy peel off of that fridge with his own 2 eyes is still there, fixed to the upper compartment. Something's wrong here, and it really doesn't take a detective to figure that much out. Nursing a sense of deep, gnawing unease,
Get out of there,
he
man.
approaches the
So she
fridge
was
and
ripping it
opens
up
the
over and
door,
over.
Not sure what to
Yeah.
expect on the
So,
other
yeah.
side. But the one thing he wasn't
Get out.
anticipating was 4 different brown paper bags stacked neatly
What?
in the otherwise empty
It's gonna be the guy's body
Each
parts.
One has
No.
the name Eric,
Eric?
Yep.
scrawled onto them with a black marker
Is that the guy?
in the exact
Yeah.
same handwriting. The detective knows better
Different
than to touch
parts of
any
his
of them,
body.
of course. He calls for backup immediately, and it isn't long before the paper bags are being studied at a nearby forensic lab affiliated with the station.
What?
Oh my
The
gosh.
contents of each bag, which a lab tech slowly empties out in front of him,
What?
is pretty much exactly the
gotta
same.
be the tongue,
A Ziploc
eyeballs.
bag containing 3 chocolate chip cookies.
Oh.
A note that reads,
What the-
"Be a good boy today," written in the exact
Oh,
same
never
handwriting
mind.
as the Eric written on each bag's exterior. A white bread sandwich with the crusts cut off and a strange mix of flesh and viscera inside.
Oh, no.
And
Okay,
another
I was right.
Ziploc bag filled with more miscellaneous meat and
no.
viscera.
Don't eat
Naturally,
that.
they conduct DNA tests on the meat inside the sandwiches.
Don't
and
eat
it doesn't
that.
take long to determine that the meat in question is
Of-
human.
yeah.
More specific
Thanks,
DNA
Sherlock.
testing would reveal that the meat came from the beat
No
cop,
way.
the CSI tech, and the unfortunate deputy who'd removed the drawing from the fridge for the first time under
So
the
they're
Nothing to
all
do with
infected.
bad.
By now, all 3 of them are
Oh my god,
dead.
they died.
They just haven't been discovered yet. And they won't be, at least not by our detective, who's gotten so admirably close to figuring the whole thing out. His investigation will soon be taken from him by men claiming to be FBI, who will ask him
Oh,
about
SCP
everyone
Foundation.
who has a working knowledge of the case. Then, the detective and everyone he named will have their memories wiped. Because the unfortunate death of Allison and all the others are now just footnotes in the SCP Foundation file for SCP-683.
I kind of feel bad for the detective because he had all the pieces, right? Like he basically did all of the work in the group project, and then they came in and then they flashbanged him, made him forget his memory, and then they're just gonna take it from there. They're gonna take all of the credit.
I'm with you. Like, that stinks, but at the same time, they're probably doing it to protect him because there's a good chance that he was going to be next if he kept messing with that fridge.
I think they missed out on a potential hire. That dude could have been pretty good for the SCP Foundation.
That's true.
If I was that dude, I don't know. I wouldn't want to live with the memories of having my 3 closest colleagues all dead from a drawing. I think that would blow my mind. I wouldn't be able to continue to live.
It would at least help you not go in the fridge as much, though. So there's one plus.
No, I might double down because like you never know how much time you have left on this earth, you know? So you might as well go after it.
It's actually a great point. I'm going to write that down and read that every single morning.
Write it down, Alec.
Dirt Boys Motivational Wednesdays.
Refrigerator art. After everything you just heard, it's only natural for you to have questions, and I can promise I'll have answers for at least some of them.
Okay.
Why did all those people die? And why did Allison starve while all the others had their
Yeah.
flesh and organs
I'm
stolen
so
for those
confused.
macabre sack lunches? The truth is, they all had one thing in common.
They were
either
guys.
attempted to remove or verbalized an insulting thought towards the drawing on the anomalous
Oh.
SCP-683 refrigerator.
Okay.
Doing either of these things will immediately activate the primary effect of the frightening fridge.
Oh, it's
next
the
time
fridge.
you try to eat, every bite you take will instantaneously result in an equal amount of body mass being removed by unknown means. The process is extremely painful
Yeah?
when it happens, but the parts you'll lose won't kill you until you've met the threshold of losing exactly 0.42 kilograms of flesh,
That's
organs,
not that much.
or even skin. then you're definitely
God,
dead.
it's
and it will be
awful. That's
slow
awful.
and
What
agonizing.
are we
And
watching?
it's different every
To the best
time.
of our knowledge, once the process is initiated, there's actually no way to stop it. Well, there's no way to stop it and live anyway, because the only way you can buy yourself more time is simply choosing not to
Okay,
eat.
so that's what happened to
That's
the girl.
option that poor Allison chose after experiencing the excruciating pain of her first couple of bites.
That's so sad.
She lived a couple weeks longer than most people who fall victim to SCP-683, but given that she spent those weeks slowly starving to death while becoming
didn't call a
increasingly aware
doctor?
that her new retro fridge has
That's what I was
murdered her,
thinking, too.
it's really
How
in
would
the
she not
eye of
call
the
a
beholder
doctor?
whether that's a better way to go.
She just sat there for 3 weeks
You may
and
have
died?
already gathered what will happen to your missing viscera if you choose not to starve to death. The meat is transposed into the mysterious sack lunches, packed into sandwiches, with the remainder inside a Ziploc bag.
It's kinda
Nutritious
yummy.
lunch for the Eric. All the bags
Who's
are addressed
Eric?
to. The same Eric that the Foundation currently believes also drew the picture that acts as the vector
It's
for
the
the
shy
dangerous
guy.
anomalous
Eric
effects
did it.
of
It's Eric Cartman.
SCP-683. Also, in case you were wondering, the 3 chocolate chip cookies are completely non-anomalous,
Oh, you
so
can-
at least there's
eat
that
them.
as a consolation prize.
Cool.
Are they eating the
Through
cookie?
extensive
Yeah, why not?
declass
That's
testing,
insane.
Which has
Infinite
resulted
cookie
in
glitch.
a lot of deaths and an equal number of sack lunches manifesting in the refrigerator, the Foundation has at least discovered some interesting details about the mechanisms by which this strange and frightening anomaly works. For one, burning the art doesn't seem to activate the effects of the anomaly.
Why not?
Though, like with removing the drawing manually, it always reappeared back on the fridge within 68 hours of first being removed, even when destroyed. Because of the human
How?
body's natural inclination against self-destruction, many of the D-classes used in these tests have refused to eat food for the purposes of testing, opting instead for the starvation route, though this in itself has given the Foundation some interesting avenues for testing. When the subjects passed out, they were intubated and fed intravenously. By doing this, the Foundation found that this causes flesh to disappear just like
What?
consuming solid
Oh,
food does.
I was gonna say
So
you could do
there's no
IVs.
way
Eric needs to get
around
his
it.
morbid lunch one way or another.
Maybe try and eat
At this point,
Eric's
the mysterious Eric is considered a person of interest by the SCP Foundation, if he is indeed just one person. Rather unnervingly, the Foundation knows almost nothing about this enigmatic figure, aside from the fact that he's already associated with 2 other anomalies.
which ones?
SCP-066, also known as Eric's Toy,
Oh.
and SCP-168, also known as the Sentient Calculator.
What?
And while SCP-168 has remained harmless, if admittedly a little sassy, SCP-066 has shown serious potential for danger when provoked. 066 was originally a harmless ball of yarn that responded in a number of polymorphic ways to different audio stimuli, such as
Okay.
music.
What?
But after a Foundation experiment that involved cutting away a piece of its yarn, it became actively violent towards
Why
anyone
would
who
you do
approached it.
that?
This appears to be a running
cut a
theme
man's
with
yarn.
many of the anomalies associated with Eric. They can appear harmless, even whimsical, but if you make the mistake of attacking, or in the case of SCP-683, even belittling them, there will be hell to pay for your indiscretion.
So that means that technically all of these SCPs that are associated with Eric are all Euclid class. Because as long as you don't do anything to them and you don't interact with them, then they're completely safe. But if you do anything with them, you're probably gonna die.
Moral of the story is just be nice to everyone and everything. If you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
And click this video right here.
And don't say anything bad about it.